Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Extra Gents. Hope that you're well. Today we're going to be taking a look at a fragrance called Frustration. This fragrance speaks to me, speaks to my soul for some reason. Frustration. Can't wait for their next release, Anxiety. Oh, it's going to be great. In today's video, as always, I will show you guys the presentation, which I think looks really nice. Very pretty. And I'll break down the fragrance a little bit for you, let you know how it smells, and let you know whether or not it's something that you should maybe check out or sample. So let's jump into it. So Frustration is, of course, from the house of Etat Libre, and it's pretty expensive, at least compared to most of the fragrances from the house, because on the whole, it's a really affordable house in terms of retail pricing for a niche brand. This one is $239 for a 100 ml size bottle, which is what I've got right here. Whereas normally they're gonna run like $159 or so for 100 ml at retail pricing, and then a bit less for smaller size bottles. This one is available at twistedlily.com, which is where I got mine, and I'll link it in the description. If you do shop there, use the code GENTS10 to save yourself 10% off your order, good for the entire website. And they're getting all kinds of brands and new fragrances all the time, so bookmark it, go check it out. Now, first off, let's go ahead and take a peek at the presentation. Here you get the box, much nicer than their typical ones. On the corner there, you can see the fragrance, the name of the house, and the little design for the fragrance there. It looks kind of like a wax seal. You have the size and concentration, 100 mils, eau de parfum. You have the logo of the house on top and also on the side of the box. On the bottom, you have your ingredients and your batch code. Batch code is F22S243C. And then you have this little pull tab right here. So with this, you give it a little pull and it opens up like so. It's actually pretty cool. So you can sit the bottle down in here and you have almost like a little showpiece for it. You got this cool mirrored effect going on. Looks nice. And then we have the bottle, nice red coloration to it. You have that same seal on the corner there with the name of the fragrance, name of the house. You have the name of the fragrance on top of the cap, and on the bottom you have a sticker and your batch code printed in ink. And as always, let's go ahead and waste a couple sprays here. The atomizer on this is actually really strong. So while yes, it's a more expensive release from the house, at least you get a little bit extra for your money. And I forgot to say, same as on all the other bottles, on the corner of the bottle here on the back, we do have the name of the house right there. So the first time that I saw this fragrance, when it was first announced, I didn't have the note breakdown there in front of me. I just saw the picture of the bottle and I thought to myself, it's probably gonna be a rose fragrance. Because, you know, rose fragrances are very hip for niche brands to do. There's all kinds of them out there. Fresh, jammy, dark, powdery, you know, the gamut, every kind of rose. And I thought that's what this would be, a rose forward scent, and it is not at all. So when you actually look at the note breakdown there, looks like a fantastic scent for fall and winter time. It's got rum, it has cumin and cinnamon in the top. Then as it dries down, vanilla, labdanum, chestnut, vetiver, and gaiac. So, it looks pretty good. So when you first spray Frustration on, you do get a little bit of that rum. You get some of that boostiness, a little bit of that warmth and sweetness that the rum imparts. The cumin and cinnamon, it's there, it's noticeable. It's not overdone though, which is a good thing, because cumin, depending on how it's used or how much of it is used, can come across a little funky, a little weird, off-putting, divisive, whatever you want to call it, because cumin can sometimes smell a little bit reminiscent of body odor. Yeah, body odor. So that's not really welcome a lot of times in fragrances. You know, people are not going to want to have a faint waft of BO from their perfume. So thankfully the cumin here is not too overdone. It's just the right amount, just a little bit mixing together with that cinnamon in the opening, giving you a nice, warm, inviting top. In fact, at times in the open, you say the first 5 minutes or so, if you go in real close for a whiff, all those spices coming together with the bit of sweetness and warmth that's there, it gives it almost like a slight gourmand peanut butter tinge, but it's like along the edges. kind of like an imaginary peanut butter note that's there just for a few minutes if you can catch it. The most important note though is the chestnut. You pick that up pretty early on, and that chestnut lingers. It stays. You pick it up early on in the lifetime of the fragrance, stays there through the mid into the dry down. Technically it's a base note, but really it's the focal point of the scent. There's vanilla and labdanum in the mid, like I talked about before, and that does help shore up that warmth and sweetness a bit as it dries down, but it never becomes a full-on sweet scent. Yes, there are sweet facets, but it's not full-on like sweet on top of sweet. Instead, that chestnut, it kind of steals the show, and it's going to remind you of fragrances a little bit like By the Fireplace from Maison Martin Margiela, or to a lesser extent, Stronger With You Absolutely. Now, Stronger With You Absolutely certainly is more on the sweet side as compared to this one, but that kind of family, that kind of style of scent, that's what you're getting with this one. This is done in that vein. There's a pleasant woodiness underneath the chestnut that you pick up as the fragrance hits through the mid. That lingers as well, and there's a faint little bit of smokiness. So yeah, basically as it opens, it's more that spice with a little booziness, and then as it dries down, a woody vanilla mixing with a more prominent chestnut note. That's like the simplest way to break it down, I guess. In terms of performance, pretty good. Stays on your skin a long time, above average, 7-8 hours or so off my skin. Projection, more moderate. It's not a big projector, it's not gonna fill up the room past the opening, but certainly good enough to get the job done. It's not a weak performer, which is good because at this price point, $240, if it were really weak, that would kill off a lot of the appeal, but thankfully, gets the job done. And in case it wasn't obvious, it's a fall and winter time type of fragrance. As I alluded to earlier, when you look at that note breakdown, it doesn't look like something you'd wear in spring and summer, and it's not. It's a fall winter time scent. In terms of daytime or nighttime use, either one, maybe it leans very slightly toward nighttime use, but really I think you could pull it off either way. And it does come across as being one of those fragrances that would work really well during the holiday season. I wouldn't spray it overly heavily though. I think in the opening especially, it can be a little bit jarring to other people if you go real heavy with it. But outside that, pretty easy to pull off, pretty versatile and likable. Now, all this being said, I'm a fan of this style of scent. By the Fireplace, I like a whole lot. Stronger With You Absolutely, I love. And there are a lot of other fragrances that are kind of in that wheelhouse. I could probably list off 10 more that are somewhat in that style. And I like most of them. So it kind of goes without saying that this is the style of fragrance that I dig. But I did sample this one first. So that's what I would suggest to you. Do the same thing I did. Get yourself a little tester spray. I think they're like $4. Again, it's linked in the description in case you want to check it out at twistedlily.com. Use the code GENTS10. That's what I always do when I shop there. Get yourself 10% off. Thank you guys for hanging with me out there. Stay safe out there. And if you smell frustration, let me know what you think about it. See you all another day with another video. See you later.